Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Gosh, I almost forgot it was Wednesday. How weird, right? But I went and got my coffee. That helped. Gotta wake up a little bit. So today, I'm excited. I'm going to show you some stuff. I keep trying to, figure out my future with Stampin' Up! And in the meantime, I'm like, but I love Close to My Heart. It's been so hard. So I keep doing these things where I mash them together. I'm doing both. So today I am using the new Close to My Heart paper pack and collection. And I want to show you some things I did using the Mediterranean blooms because I fell in love with this kit and it's very summery and I can't wait to show you that. So let me see here. Try to get all my stuff together. What I did was I put together a workshop and my plan was I'm going to make some fun fold type cards for the Enjoy the Ride paper pack, and I'm just going to use it up. I'm going to use up all the papers and all the stickers. I did pretty good, and I could use more on the projects that I made, but honestly, I still had so much left. I only used a sheet of each and I still had a lot left. And so then I thought, okay, well, I'll make some scrapbook workshops too. And so what I did, I put this as a PowerPoint, as a presentation file that you can find on the Connie Crafts page. And I cut out all the little parts and pieces. I added a lot of my own cardstock to it. And then made a bunch of cards and a bunch of layouts. And I thought today I'm going to show you everything that I made. And then we'll work on decorating the cards just so you can see what I did. So what I have left is one sheet of the sunshine paper and the stickers I just showed you. That's what I have left over after everything. So 3 2-page layouts. Let me just make a little space so that I know you'll be able to see them. This one I didn't put the this one I did not put the mats on yet, but let me raise my camera so you can see better. Sorry, I can make you dizzy doing that, but that way you can see like a 12 by 12 layout. I had it kind of zoomed in because I was going to do cards, but this is just your real simple kind of 9 square block, and I used my own. I had honey butter as a base, and I used bluebird and white cardstock as the background. I stamped direct to paper on here using the cool stamps, and there's a few stickers and gems. So that's kind of a fun thing. And then I thought the bluebird made great scrapbook mats for your photos, but I'm not sure exactly which photos I'm using for this one, so I did not attach it yet. On this side, it's just real simple strips in the different types. This is a sticker, and this is a zip strip. I stamped directly to this piece right here. And so it's just kind of a fun summery layout. And I thought, gosh, this reminds me of some of the layouts I used to use when my grandmother was alive. We always had like a picnic on Mother's Day. It was always like a really big deal to eat outside and go to my aunt's house. And this reminds me of that time. And so I was like, okay, this is a great spring or summer layout. And I used this sticker as the title. And then the number 2, hold on a sec, since I'm throwing things on the floor. Number 2 is a very basic, again, thing where I used different layers of cardstock and paper to make a giant square. And then I chopped it in half, and I chopped it in half on one side. So when you chop it in half, it makes one triangle for this side. And then you take that triangle, and when you cut it in half again, it makes these 2 pieces. So basically you're just building up a bunch of squares and then cutting them. If you have a trimmer that will not cut through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers, what you can do is you could layer the first 2 or 3 and then cut through those, and then layer the other 2, cut through those, and then put it all together. That's just an option if you don't have like a heavy duty chopper like I have. But it is a really fun layout. And I think what drew me to this one was I was really looking for something very sunny, and I was kind of wanting to decorate this with one of those, I have that stamp of that like VW Volkswagen Bug, and I'm thinking about putting it down here. Now the one weird glitchy thing on this one is that when I cut this strip right here, I didn't have a piece of paper long enough for the whole thing. And so you'll see I pieced it together right there. It's not noticeable when you're looking at the layout. It's just not noticeable. And I'll show you on the other layout that I made like it so that you can see what I mean, because you would think a pattern that doesn't match is gonna show, but it doesn't really show. On this side, I used the nectarine, the rosy, and the honey butter cardstocks. I think the colors make this one, not necessarily the Enjoy the Ride papers specifically, but that floral print really adds, and especially since it has sun in it and stuff. And then I just dug through some of my stamp sets to find things that are summery. And I have quite a few, you know, as you know, I used this Enjoy the Summer, and I was going to use this little sunshine, but I changed my mind. But what I did use is this little thing right here is the border, this orange border right here. I just stamped it over and over. And if you look close, you can see it is not perfect. I'm not a perfect stamper, right? But it looks pretty good. And you can just use a ruler or a pencil line. Sometimes I'll use like a piece of long cardstock like this to line up my stamps as I go, so that, you know, you can make your stamped line, especially when you do it direct to paper like this. The other thing I used is this border set. I love summer. I used that. And these, if you remember these from, I think this was from last 2023, but basically what I did was I cut apart a lot of these words so that I could use them individually or all together. But I used a lot of these words individually on the layout. See, here is hot, hot, hot. Here's the Enjoy the Summer. Here is the Fun in the Sun and the summertime and the summer vibes. And I love the Hello Sunshine. I got that from this set. This is a more current set. Sunshine Makes Me Happy. Hello Sunshine. Bring on the sunshine. I was like, okay, I can definitely use the sunshine things on this layout because it's very summery and very sunny. And this, of course, is the Irresistibles, and I just ombre blended it with the honey butter, the nectarine, and the rosy ink. If you don't have Irresistibles, use what you've got. Any title is going to look amazing, right? Let me just put this over here. Sorry. Okay, so there's layout 2. Layout 3, I went with a green theme because I thought this would be really nice for like going to the park, going for walks with the dog. You know, I take pictures all over the place, enjoying the little things, making our own memories, nothing but blue skies. And so this layout was basically using some of my leftovers at the very, very end, but it doesn't look like it was made with leftovers. I used the green as the background, and then this whole big sheet of the bicycles, a cluster of stickers and stamped images here. And then I just cut several of these little spots that I thought could be a journaling spot or another photo. So I love the cluster of stickers and stamps on the top, and you'll also notice I did some ink blending around the edge with just a little bit of, I think that's nectarine, but super soft, super soft. I did not use a heavy hand with that. So I like how this turned out. I think it looks really great. And even if you hate green, the green and blue together really help. And bringing in that like kind of peachy tone adds to the layout. Now, you're probably like, okay, but I didn't buy this paper. It's still available if you like it. I'm just saying, it's still available. So you can get it if you want it. But let me show you the layouts that I did. Okay. So I told you I'm in love with that Mediterranean Blooms paper. And so I did a layout using it. I have honey butter as the background. And then I just did the squares just like before. I used orange and sapphire as my photo mats, and then I cut out a bunch of the little oranges to decorate this corner. I also have that butterfly set that I broke down and bought a butterfly set. Can you guys believe that? Anyway, I bought a butterfly set. I have lots of plans for this, but I thought this looked really nice with this paper. It just needed a little something besides the fruit, you know what I mean? And then on this side, there are the stripes, and you can see, wow, bold. They don't look like they go together, but they really do. And then I have that big white bold that I stamped directly onto before. And then I did a little tiny strip of nectarine and a little strip of the sapphire. I like how the whole thing looks overall, and I really like how it looks with the nectarine photo mats. And you're probably like having trouble visualizing it, but just imagine like if you use 2 photos here, or one larger sized photo here with journaling at the bottom or more decoration at the bottom. I'll probably add a real small white photo mat to my pictures. And then here, I've got these like Florida pictures that are gonna look really good with these papers. So I went ahead and I cut out the little oranges and the giant butterfly for this side to decorate here. And then at the bottom, I probably will journal. That's my plan for that page. Okay, there's one. Layout 2. This, I had to do my cutting guide to make sure that it worked after I put, I need like a proofreader if any of you would like to be a proofreader for my cutting guides. Okay, so here is, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 layers of squares that are cut in half, and then half of it is cut in half again. So here's half, and then here's half split apart. And I used the Capri Blue and the Sapphire together. And the reason I used Capri Blue is that it matches the pattern in this paper perfectly. And it's a little much when you see it like this. I'm like looking for a photo that's sitting around, but all I can find are my little 4x4s. But you can see it won't show gobs once you get your photos on there. It'll just peek around. So it'll be perfect for that. And then the only thing I did, you know, I love that Smile stamp set. So I used that. Where did I put it? I have like stuff everywhere, like usual, you know, this stamp set. So I used the Smile. Your smile brightens my world. I love that. And could have used the sun. Could have used more hearts. I used a few there. And I'm going to add some of the heart gems to this and the sparkles. Just haven't yet. Just started putting things together. That I just did finish. I started this at like 1:30. So that's, you know, it doesn't take very long to use a workshop guide and cut things apart and then start putting things together. But I really love the colors of this. And I have a bunch of my cousin's kids' pictures that will go perfectly on this, like family photos. And I don't even think I'm going to have to decorate it very much on top of this. I think the photos are bold enough to go on here. This is great for graduation. Look at the color. No oranges or lemons in sight, right? Okay, so there's 2. Here's layout number 3, which is my favorite, because I like the oranges and the lemons, but I know it's a turnoff to some people because what do you do with them, right? But I have a bunch of pictures from Florida of like the little orange bird and lots of little, like we made a pit stop at the Welcome Center and things like that. This is great for Florida trip. And you may recognize the little letters that we all fought so hard for with Close to My Heart. These are the ones that have the little outlines. And I did kind of toy with using like the little green outline on each one to make it like stand out more. But I decided just to make it real simple and just do that. Now, you can see it's the same kind of style. A giant bold print here, a couple of 3 little pieces for photo mats. I cut these separate. But these oranges came from the paper pack. So let me just show you really quick. There is one sheet of paper that is all over oranges like this. And one that cuts out the trio. Let me see if I have a trio. Oh, hold on. My fingernails don't want to pick anything up. Okay, so like this is stamped and embossed in gold. I've been playing with that a little bit. But this die cut that cuts out this stamp also works on this paper. And so it matches up and you just line it up and cut it out. And what you end up with is these oranges like this that are already colored. It's almost like having a die cut of your own. I just put a little foam tape under it. You'll also notice I sponged under the title using honey butter. And since I had that sun paper left over, I cut a 3/4 inch strip of the sunshine out and added it to the page. I had it left over. I was gonna put Florida Sunshine on here, and then I was like, well, I'll just use the sunshine paper. Isn't that cute? So what do you think? Do you like it? I also had a couple little stickers from the sticker sheet left over that I added. And so, like I said, I've been doing a little mashup of these paper packs. So the workshop that I put on there will do multiple, I mean, you cannot say that these two layouts are identical. If they were even back to back in your scrapbook, you'd be like, well, that design might be getting tired, but they look so different. And then remember at the bottom how I told you I meshed up that pattern? That does not match, not even a little. You can see it does not match. It's just not noticeable. And that's with the busy pattern, and this one's with a calm pattern. You just don't really see it. So there you go. There's my workshop. And the other part of the workshop is cards. And so I went ahead and I used a lot of my own card bases that I made, and then I started putting together the pieces. And so this is what this workshop will make. It'll make 2 gatefold cards, 2 of the like stand-up step cards. I call them step cards. And then 3 of the bookmark cards. Remember the little bookmarks that can slide off and you can decorate them any way you want. And they decorate the front of your card, but then are usable to whoever you send them to. And so I just sort of started, I put the pieces together. I went ahead and glued the bases down just so I wouldn't have so many parts and pieces. And as you cut, I recommend like sorting things into piles. It's just the easiest way to do it. I tried to make my guide mostly card cutting first so that you could do just those if you wanted. And then you can see I did not make a card set using the Mediterranean blooms. So if you want to use just the layouts, I tried to make it as easy as possible. Okay. Oh, you know what? Let me grab one thing. Hold on a minute. I want to show you one more item. I posted this yesterday, but I just wanted to make sure you could see. This is unrelated to the card kit or anything, but I did make this card using the Mediterranean blooms because I wanted to try out the watercolor pencils. And so I watercolored this, and I love that little preserves. And since I bought the butterfly kit, it comes with this little stamp of little butterflies. And so I know it's crazy, but I colored those and I fussy cut them out to use here and here. So that seems a little nuts, but it really does add to the card. I think they're really dimensional in person. You can see like they look like they're really flying. So I just wanted to show you that card. That was really fun. I could make this to show you how I colored it and stuff. Like I said, I cut out, okay, you probably think I'm crazy, but when I die cut a lot. And I do that on purpose so that I don't have to do it over and over again. And I was kind of playing around. These are the red rubber stamps. And I'm a little out of practice with stamping onto something I've already die cut. So I just wanted to see how easy it was to do. And I think the answer is not easy. And the answer is to die cut it after you stamp with the red rubber. And I really liked how some of the gold embossed look with those fruit look. I wish there was a lemon stamp. That is one thing that it's like highly missing, is more lemon off of that stamp set. Let me see. See, they have like, they just have the two oranges. And I'm like, I found myself wanting yellow. So that was one thing that I was kind of wishing I had. All right, let me just put that in there so I don't lose it. All right, let's do cards. Okay, so I kind of sorted all the pieces. I'm gonna move my camera back down again. Let me know if that's too close. So for each card, I used my own white cardstock, okay? And I showed on my workshop what you need to cut and where you need to score. But basically, I kind of have a little panel. I have a little strip. I used my zip strip. I thought that would decorate the inside. That would look really nice. I'm just gonna attach this now while I am here, because it's really annoying having all these little parts and pieces just everywhere. Okay. And then for each one, I kind of die cut a few, I die cut gobs and gobs of the flowers from the flower set, so that this is the set that comes with, or, you know, that's coordinated with this paper pack. Enjoy the Ride card making, and it is still available. And there are several flowers. There's like a flower and the detail of this flower. There's a couple of different leaf prints here and here. There are some sprigs, some inside splishes for the inside of the flower, and there's a couple other flowers, and it's a nice mix of words. I was kind of like, I don't want to have a birthday or a thank you, so I could do best wishes, but I kind of started to pull like just a hello, like a hi there. And I thought this hello was kind of swoopy. That might work. The hello from the summer set that I just showed you might work. I like the idea of that. And then I pulled a whole bunch of colors. Now, at first, I only pulled the colors of the paper pack. And you can learn that from the zip strip. You just read the zip strip off. It's like rosy and bluebird and honey butter and limeade. And I found that I needed to add a dark version of each thing. Like if I want to make a blue flower with a darker center, I needed the sapphire, or it just didn't show up very much. And when I did the rosy, I needed a darker version, which I used candy apple. And same with like the greens. And so that's why I have so many out. You don't have to do this my way. This is just kind of what I decided to do. And then I am going to grab my piece of foam, because these solid images really do stamp better if you know, use like the foam. Okay, so I could stamp direct onto here, or I could use this for my hello and just cut it out, or whatever you want to do. I'm going to go ahead and just start with, I'm going to set that up there. I'm going to start with my limeade and ink that up and stamp just like that. And then my flowers, you can make your flowers any color you want. I'm going to make at least one of them rosy. So when you're using these stamps, they're already kind of textured. You can see they're going to come out like this, you know, shaded to some degree. And there you go. The rosy almost looks red to me. That's why I used candy apple to do highlights or whatever. But you can use anything you want, right? I'm going to then use my honey butter to kind of put a splotch in the middle. Okay. And then basically, let me get out that hello. I could use a different hello, but I'm going to use this one. Let's see. Do I have any other? I've been using all my blocks already. So this one that I'm using this on has that blue, and if I put this on here and some flowers and some, it'll look really nice with a hello up in the corner. And I could make it a dark green. I could make it a blue color to coordinate, or just black. Maybe I'll do that. Just see how this works. Is it weird to see me stamping with my block having two stamps on it? It took me a while to figure out that I could do that. I felt like I needed to own hundreds of blocks, right? But that's okay. The other thing we could do on here that would probably look really nice is just to sponge a little ink around the flower, just to give it a little color. That might look really nice. Let me grab my blue. So let me try a little bluebird. This may be a huge mistake, right? This is a very bold color. You have to be very soft touch. So don't push hard. Okay. That could have gone very badly, especially since I already glued things on, right? Let's see. And I think I'm gonna foam tape this one just a little bit. I have these like foam tape things. One thing, have you guys received your card kits yet? Christy, have you received yours? Heather? The one of the things that I put in the card kit is the third card that I'm going to show Friday. And it is a shaker card. And so you're going to have these little bits and bobs left too, if you have ordered from me. Look at that. I love it. All right, hold on a sec. Had to find my cool gems. It's so weird to see Close to My Heart branded on one side and Stampin' Up on the other. It's really throwing me, you guys. I think this needs the blue dots since there's a lot of blue. Ta-da! Nice. So there is one card done. And then I did the essentially similar kind of thing with this. So yeah, card number 3 is Big Slimline Shaker. And so you save the shaker part, but you can use all the little foam pieces on the inside like I do. This one, instead of using this piece, maybe I'll just use these. All right, let's see. We'll do the big flower. That is Bluebird. And if you if you want to use the little, like additional dimension piece, this one, I recommend you trying it on scratch paper first because it takes a moment to figure out how it goes. I mean, like just the way everything lines up is a little bit interesting. And so I would just try it on scratch paper first, just to make sure that you've got it before you use it on any pieces that you've die cut. It's very simple to like go, oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that, right? So here I am with this piece again, this little flower. I'm going to make it yellow. Like that. And I have green. I'm going to do the leaves one color, like the limeade, and then I'll do the sprig part in jade. That way we'll have a little bit of a darker green. And then I have this little sprig that like with berries on it. And boy, the color, I think I'm going to do it in nectarine just because it's a little different. If I'm going to go direct to red, I don't want to make it red. I normally would make that red. It's really hard to stamp over my head. I am not, sorry, I got that a little off. It's like it's not right under me, and so it's easy to get that screwed up. If this ever happens to you and you screw it up, don't throw it away. You can just do this like what I'm going to do. And I'm going to just trim it a little bit so it looks more intentional. Good. Good enough. All right. And I guarantee you, whoever gets this card from you, they are not going to go, oh my God, she really screwed that up. Or at least they're not going to do it to your face. So. I'm going to use a little more. I like to, when I'm not going to use the, you know, foam for a shaker, I like to cut it apart and use it for my cards. And then You can tuck this any way you want. I like that. Okay. And then I don't know if you want to add these gems or if you want to add clear gems, but I have these, so here I go. I'm gonna put one. Nice. Now the other thing, if I'm gonna go direct to the paper without using the white card, I like to add a little something when the border looks so plain, and you can use just a stitch line using black or white. And I, you know, white gel pen, hello. And so you can just stitch it or you can draw it. Thinking of you. Ta-da! So there's card number 2. Okay, now the next card type that I did was bookmark cards. Not bookmark cards. I did gatefold cards. And so here's the thing about gatefold cards. You can do whatever you want. If you want to adhere this down so that it is more of a solid piece, or you can leave it just like this and decorate the inside too. Your choice, okay? I used my zip strips to decorate the outside here. Now, again, this whole mashup thing, I could get out those butterflies and add a few of those. Wouldn't that be neat? Adding some butterflies to this. Love it. And then this will go on the front and you can put it anywhere you want. And I like that. I want to add a little ink to this. It's very bland. So let me do my stamping first. Leaf is easy. Now, when you do yours, you can assembly line everything. You can put out all your leaves, stamp all your leaves. All your flowers, stamp all your flowers. You know, I mean, you can assembly line this and it'll go really fast. As opposed to me, where I'm doing each card separately. You don't have to do that. It will end up being really good. I guess I should clean that off in between colors, huh? Let's see. Still had a little blue on it. Let's see. I wonder if my other one has blue on it too. This one, probably. Maybe I should use blue as the detail. You don't have to do this detail if you don't want to. Sorry, again, I'm out in front of me trying to line that up. You're probably like, go right, lower it a little. And I think the other color I'm going to use is nectarine. Just because there's so much orange on my paper already. Like, why not? This little flower is really funky looking. It's just a splotch of a flower. Look at that. There's just nothing to it. And so, and the other thing you could do is you can stamp direct onto here, you know, if you feel like you need more and you don't have enough cut or something, you know. So let's see, do I want to ink that? I think it needs it. Hold on a minute, let me grab my sponge. So I have a little sponge. I have a little Bluebird ink. Tap, tap, tap. And I'm just gonna go around the edge. That's fun. That'll work. That helps. I do think I need a little something else. So I'm gonna add this little sprig. And let's see, what else do I want? Yep, I feel like I need another flower. So if, like I said, if that happens to you, just stamp direct onto the paper. It's only cardstock. If you screw it up or something, it's not like a big deal. You know what I mean? All right. I think this one is gonna go flat. This will go flat. And this will have foam. What's everybody doing today? It's been raining here. I went over to my dad's for a little bit this morning. And yuck. This rain is getting a little old. I'm getting a little tired of having rain like all the time. I think this one, I might use the little green gems. I always use 3, have you noticed? Nice. I love it. Now, when you glue this, remember you only glue half, right? 1/2, because when you put this down, you don't want glue seeping on the back. Make sure there's no glue. Ta-da! Okay, card number 3. Now I have another gatefold, and this one I put together like this because I thought it looked really nice, but the center is so that it kind of needs it needs space for your message on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on the inside. That way I'll be able to put my message on, okay? And then I have this white one left over. I could use white or red. I think I'll use red. And you can use either side. See, the softer red is nice too. Okay, so now we just need to stamp all our parts. I hope you guys actually try this workshop. You probably have a different paper pack to use even. You could do double the amount of cards and no scrapbook page, that's fine. You can do anything because honestly, there's a lot of, there are just a lot of options. Do I want this yellow? I think I want this yellow. Let me wipe it off one more time just to make sure I didn't get red or blue on my flower. Boy, that's off. That's okay. It looks all right. And I'll use a little bit of nectarine. blue. I gotta move that a little closer. That texture is so interesting when it makes its own like texture. I might put a gem in the middle of that one. I kind of stopped stamping in the middle there. Sorry. And this one. What color? What color? Rosy. So these stamps have like this really interesting kind of texture to them. I feel like if you didn't ink them up perfectly, they would still look great. Nice. I like it. This paper, this flower paper is so pretty. I am in love. Love it. It's awesome. Ta-da! I like just a single line around it, but if you want to do even more, sometimes I intentionally will make a wiggly line. And sometimes I'll even add like a few dots around the edge. Just doodle. Ta-da! Okay. Excuse me, my God. Okay, I want to show you how to fold this bookmark, and I have already used all my, let me cut a scrap. This is a 5x5 inch scrap. what you're gonna do to make the bookmark portion is you're gonna fold it in half. And you're gonna fold it in half the other direction. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut out one corner. And I cut it on the, I try to cut off the fold, if that makes sense. Just, it's better if you don't have that like kind of foldy edge. That's scrap. And then basically what you have is a piece that folds in on itself. And these pieces will adhere to each other, so you can just right? So this is what you've got. And then the front piece folds back. Now, on some of these, you'll see I intentionally left a border around the edge. I like how it looks, having a little bit showing. It depends on your pattern paper. And then some of them, you don't want it to show at all, and you want it to go all the way to the corner, like that. And then there is your bookmark, okay? And you can adhere this to this, right? There you go. Ta-da! So there's your little pocket that slides onto your card. And so in the directions, you'll see that there are like 3 5x5 squares, and that's what this is for. So it's something you want to think about which side you want to show. Like if you wanted your bookmark to show on this side, it needed to be folded differently. So that might be something you want to practice just a little before you fold it, to see like which way. I think I folded it like the pretty side, the side I want to show in. I think that's how I did it. The pretty side on the inside, and that way when you fold your flat back, that'll be the pretty side showing. There you go. Okay, so now we want to stamp our little flowers. There's red and one of the little leaves, there's 2 sets of leaves, and this little leaf right here, you can see it has like a little, like a notch in it right there. And that notch is for this flower, but I have been using it with this no problem when I just wanted smaller leaves. So I've been using this littler leaf often. Don't let it stop you from using it with something else. What color? What color? I think I'll do, you know, I don't think I got this stamp out. I didn't. Here it is. And again, I find myself needing another block, so I'm going to use that one. Turn it around where it has the hook. I feel like my honey butter is more dull than it's supposed to be. I should re-ink it. It probably needs re-inked. I've been using it like gobs and gobs. Decisions. It's really hard to decide like what color to do these little berries. I've struggled with these little berries. There we go. All right, I'm ready to decorate. So all I'm decorating is this piece. I just put a big background on the back, and I'm just gonna decorate this part. And I could even put this opens. I could put it inside, right? It depends on how you want your card to be. You could put a message. You could put like your hello here with one flower, and then decorate more on the inside. You know, decisions. This is another one that needed ink or another flower or something on there. So I'm gonna I think maybe I'll go ahead and put that on the inside. And then I'm going to use that little baby one again. And you can see, like, I just kind of put it I just kind of tucked it in there. And it looks fine. And now, I don't know, looks a little better. A little better, I don't know. And then this whole, the back of this gets adhered like this, okay? Oh my gosh, it's been an hour. Look at us playing with stuff but I only have 2 more of these little bookmark cards to make. There's one. I'll stamp hello in there and then write my message. Oh, and I had scraps for the insides. Okay, let's see here. This is essentially exactly the same as one I just made. I'll do that off camera. Let me see if I did anything different here. Probably not. Very similar. So basically I'm just making all of these the same way, putting flowers on and sprigs, and then some gems. So we make 3 bookmark cards, 2 gatefold cards, and feel free to flip the papers over to make them look different. And 2 stair-step cards. And then all of those layouts, which are amazing. So that is a big workshop. I hope you guys really like it. And I'm going to go ahead and just finish those last 2 cards off camera. And let me know what you do with this workshop, if you do it at all. The journey workshop, that I put on there. I tagged it to the featured section also because a lot of people are starting to get their journey paper in the mail with Close to My Heart. And so you might be looking for patterns for that. There are no official Close to My Heart patterns for the Melon Mania or the Journey, Joy in the Journey, or the Wildberry Blast that they did last year. So if you bought any of those, you can feel free to use any of these cutting guides and make some fun pages. You'll search around the internet like crazy and maybe have trouble finding layouts using those. And that is because a lot of the makers put those onto the maker group so that we could copy them and show them to our customers. And that's why I blitzed everybody a little while ago with all of those journey layouts and cards and ideas, because it's a lot of paper. It's a lot. And if you bought the Melon Mania, you'll be in the same boat. There's a ton of paper there. So it's nice to be able to find some uses for it and not be storing it forever. Okay, again, host codes are in the featured section at the top. If you decide to order from Stampin' Up, there are some really amazing card kits on there. I've been thinking of ordering a couple just to make them for fun. So let me know what you think. Thanks. Have a good afternoon.